Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name's David, and this is a Magic Review. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Do you like Magic reviews? Do you? Because I do. I love Magic and I love playing cards, and that's what I do. This is a review channel. I review the latest and the greatest Magic tricks, stuff that's just now hitting the shelves because you're seeing the commercials, you're reading the ad copy, and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if this is any good. That's what I do. I separate the good and talk about the pros and cons of everything. I give you the positives, I give you the negatives so that you can spend your money wisely. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you hit your notifications so that you're alerted when your favorite review goes live. Today we're looking at Outnumbered from Danny Weiser and Matthew Wright. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I've done reviews for both of these gentlemen, both of them very creative, so it's neat to see them both like come together on this trick. What is Outnumbered? Outnumbered it's that little slidey 1 to 15 puzzle. Have you ever seen this? Like, I remember these more so from my day and age. I don't see these as much anymore, but maybe that's just because I'm not in the kid crowd. But you used to get these things like in your Christmas stocking. You know, your parents could pick up a whole package of them, or teachers could. They could get like 8 for, you know, $2 or something like that. And there were just these little slidey puzzles. The little squares are different colors, you know, they're alternating colors. And then they're the numbers 1 to 15, or it was a picture, and then you'd mix it all up and then you'd solve it and you try to get the numbers back in order. It's one of those little slidey puzzle pieces. And in the trick, you're able to show it in its mixed state, like it's all mixed up, and then you hand it out to them. It's totally examinable. They can take it, they can look at it, they can slide all the pieces around, they can move the pieces, they can try to solve it themselves, or they can just, you know, try to mix it up further for you, and then they hand it back to you. Now at this point, when they hand it back, you kind of have a bunch of different options. You could take it back and solve it, you know, 1 to 15 in record time, just like, bam, done, solved. Or you could move the numbers into a state that only you know. So you could have a prediction on the table. You could solve it yourself and then flip it over. And then they say, I don't understand the numbers. And then you could say, oh, well, it's a magic square. You just add 4 this way and you get this total, add 4 this way, you get this total, add 4 this way, you get this total. So it's a magic square trick, really. But you also get the stuff to customize it yourself. But before I get too far ahead of myself, I want to ask and answer my questions so that you get an honest and factual review every single time. And the first question is, what do you get? You're intrigued, okay? You order it, you buy it, comes to you in the mail, what do you get? It's a little tiny box. The box isn't really much bigger than the actual prop. They've really packaged this tightly, and I kind of found after I took everything out, it was actually hard to get everything back in. Like, it's a really tight fit box. But you get the puzzle, right? You get the puzzle, and you're gonna get 3 additional gimmicks. That would be for 3 possible outcomes. So you can modify it to your own ideas if you'd like. So obviously you could do the solve state and say that you solved it 1 to 15. You could do the magic square state where, you know, all the numbers add up to a specific chosen number, but then they're going to give you a gimmick that you can customize, and of course then you're going to get stickers, and you could come up with something. So let's say you want to match all the numbers in sequence on a credit card that's in your pocket. You could do that. Or let's say you wanted to do like a serial number match on a bill. You could do that. So there's lots of different ideas you could use. And really, and I'm just going to say this at this point, okay? This feels a lot like a Rubik's Cube system. So if you're trying to put your head around what this is, if you've ever ordered like one of those Rubik's Cube systems, this is what that feels like, only on a different scale. So this is a really good way to think about it. Like, if you've ever wanted to do the Rubik's Cube systems, but in your head you're thinking, I'm not really a Rubik's Cube person. This takes that puzzle matching, puzzle solving idea into a much more smaller scale, much more transportable scale. Is it what I thought? With this one, I really didn't know what to think. I mean, there's a lot of different ways I guess they could have gone. I think some of the science behind it, I was predicting, but really how it all came together, how it really functioned, I couldn't figure it out. How are the angles on this? Good question. With this, you could flash, but you shouldn't flash, because really, in the explanation, Matthew Wright covers how to cover, right? He covers everything so that no matter what. So I mean, it's almost like he examined his own trick and then said, well, here's the things you could run into and here's how to fix it. Because sure, you could flash, but he shows you how to get around that and in a workable, believable way. Sure, it could make some noise, but it's a little slidey plastic puzzle. It's supposed to make noise, right? So could you flash? Sure, if you did it sloppy and you didn't have a premise for what you were doing, but you shouldn't. This should be seamless. With the way he teaches it to you, it should be perfect. Can it be inspected? I would say casually inspected. And here's why I say casually. Because just like with a Rubik's Cube trick, you're gonna hand the puzzle out to the spectator at the beginning and they mix it. Now it's in that state where the spectator does all their examination. They're holding it in their hands, they're looking at it, they can look at it from both sides if they wanted to. They can feel the surface with their fingers, they're sliding the pieces around, everything moves as it should. If there was some sort of bell or whistle or trapdoor or smoke machine, they would see it at that point. It's almost like then they're handing it back to you. Like, yes, I examined this. Or like a deck of cards. Yes, I shuffled this. I shuffled these cards, I handled these cards, I examined it. You then take it back and you do the magic. If this were a cube system and you took it back and you put it in the paper bag and pulled it back out, you don't then hand the cube back out again. That doesn't happen in cube solving effects, so it's not gonna happen here. You technically could hand it back. There is a little extra piece that's kind of a locking mechanism that locks the puzzle so the pieces can't slide. You could lock the puzzle and hand it back, but there's no need. What's that phrase? You don't kick a dead horse, right? It's stupid to hand it back again because they already held it. You know, they held it, they examined it, they handed it back, and then you take it and do the magic with it and go ta-da. And we'll talk a little bit more about ending a little later in the video. All right, so what's the overall quality and production value of the video? There's actually 2 videos in this, and I'll talk about that later. There's a 11-minute video, and there's a 7-minute video. And you're actually watching how to do it in both, but I recommend watching both. Don't just watch one without the other. I think you kind of need them both. Matthew Wright has a slight accent, doesn't get in the way at all, but he talks very quickly. He's very excited when he talks. He's kind of like a kid at Christmas that wants to show you what he got for Christmas, and you're kind of like drinking your coffee going like, hey, slow down, slow down, slow down. So the longer video is done with another magician, Dan Alam, and it's all a stationary shot at a table. In the second video, Matthew's at a table in an all dark room. It's well mic'd, it's well shot, and you get more close-ups. You get more in-depth video shots. The longer video ends with a live performance outside, and then also some additional tips and ideas from Dan. As far as what they're gonna teach you on the video, obviously they're gonna go over what's in the box, how to do it. Like I said, you get a live performance and you get tips. It's all kind of mishmashed together. Is it well made? It feels exactly like what it is. If you've ever held one of these little plastic slidey puzzles, they kind of have a cheap feel to them. Obviously, this one doesn't feel as cheap as those. It feels like a little bit more of an upscale version of it, but that's what it feels like. It feels like one of those puzzles. How much practice does this require? It does require some practice. This is not a self-working effect. In fact, I would even say, for those of you who maybe have had one of the cube systems, because you have the paper bag that you put everything into, the paper bag kind of does all the work for you. And with this one, there is no paper bag. You do it all in the hands. Because, you know, with a cube, obviously it doesn't fit. You can't conceal, you can't cover it, hide it in your hands, but with this one you can. So you're doing everything right there in front of them out in the open. So there's 2 things you kind of just have to become a little comfortable with, and it does take practice, but it's something you don't even need to practice with a spectator. You could practice doing this in the mirror. You could practice doing this like just while you stood in line to pick up food at, you know, a fast food shop. Like you just have it in your hand, you just do your move, and you just practice your move over and over again. All right, so pocket space. How much pocket space does this take up? Exactly the same size as the magic square puzzle. Like there's nothing else to it. You don't have an additional item in your pocket. You're not palming an additional item. Everything is self-contained in the puzzle. As big as the puzzle is, that's as much pocket space as it'll take up. How much setup and reset is there? It's ready to go right out of the box. You could begin to practice and perform it immediately, unless you're going to do the customization, in which case he gives you stickers so that you can make your own. I would just say be careful with the stickers. There's not a lot of them, and you know when you always peel stickers off of their backing plate, there's the tendency to fold them and crease them, or just to pinch the corners. Just be really super careful with your stickers. But as far as when the trick is over and you want to do reset's like 2 seconds. Positives. All right, so what are the positives? Outnumbered takes the classic childhood puzzle and turns it into a real miracle. Perfect for mentalists or anyone who wants an amazing everyday carry. Negatives. All right, so what are the negatives? Like I say around here, there's always good and bad to everything. I give you the positives and the negatives side by side so that you can make up your own mind and make wise purchases. That's all I want. Really, the only negatives I had with this was the explanation video. And let me just start off by saying you get everything you need in the video. You do. It's all there. It's just jumbled. It's just not well organized. I really wish they had spent some more time on editing. In fact, I wish they hadn't given you 2 videos. It would have made more sense to give you just a single video and move some of those pieces around and put it into a format that we recognize. Like, take that performance video and put it at the very beginning, and then put in a section where this is what's in the box, and then go into a section where, and this is, Matthew Wright walking you through the trick, and have it go back and forth between stationary shots and close-up shots, and then put the tips at the end, and put plates, in between that tell the viewer, this is what you're going to watch next. You're going to watch what's in the box. This is now you're going to watch, live performance. Because I think, like I said, it was filmed as one long stream of consciousness. And it just felt like Matthew was just so excited, and he probably was so excited to tell you about this trick and to share it with you. All his ideas just came out in kind of like, as he was thinking about them, which is fine. But for me, like both videos, both videos together is like 18 minutes. So even that, it's not that long. But I literally had to watch both videos twice. Just because the first time through, I think I was kind of overwhelmed and it was like, what just happened? So then the second time, I just slowed it down, like my whole process of watching it and just taking that video and going, okay, got it, all right. It's like I just had to take it in twice. Maybe that's just because that's how I learn, and maybe I'm more of a sequenced learner, and maybe it has something to do with my learning style. I just had a little bit of a struggle with the video. Is it worth your money? It is $50, $50. And like I was saying, it's priced about the same as a cube system. So if you've kind of stayed away from cube systems before because you've kind of felt like, well, I'm not really a cube person and it's a little high, at least with this one, you can not be a cube person, but then still get all the benefits and all the revelations and the magic of a cube system, but something that's way more self-contained and that's gonna walk around in your pocket. So I think it's the same effort that was put into this as it would be if you got like one of those cube systems. But you just need to kind of wrestle with, is the trick and the outcome and the aha moment worth the $50 for you? I definitely think there was a lot of R&D put into this that made it, that high. I mean, this is real plastic and these little pieces move. They had to really make a puzzle and then really design all the gimmicks that went into it. So I don't think it could have been any more affordable, definitely, but just I want you to be aware. Who would like this? I think, like I've been saying throughout this entire thing, if you've kind of always wanted a cube system but just never gotten around to getting one, but cubes weren't your thing, this could be a nice alternative. This could be a nice alternative even if you do cube magic. This is another little thing you can put in your pocket. So instead of walking around with cubes all the time, someone says, oh, I really love that cube magic you do. And you're like, oh, well, I got something, I got this. This is kind of fun. I've been playing with this lately. So for people who do cube magic, this is a nice everyday carry because it fits right in your pocket and it's the same style of system, so you could easily adapt tricks you already do onto a smaller scale. Perfect for walk around, perfect for street magic, Perfect for just that trick that you slide in your pocket and it's ready to go wherever you are. All right, so that's everything I can say about Outnumbered from Danny Weiser and Matthew Wright. Of course, I want to thank Murphy's Magic Supplies for allowing me to have this so that I could do the review for you. And if you'd like to purchase it for yourself, you can find it wherever quality Murphy's Magic products are sold. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.